Hey guys, so I've said this before, I'm not a landscape photographer. Doesn't mean that I'd like to go out on walks and take pictures. This looks very much like a location for landscape photography, but it's not really why I went up there. This is close to my home in Topanga. These are the burn areas. I photographed them before. I showed some of the pictures from some lens tests. I photographed other burn areas before and in the fog, so I took that opportunity when it was foggy to go up there in the morning and see if I can get that same thing again. It was very different this time because everything was very green. So I couldn't believe how fast nature had recovered from these horrible fires, and there was much more green than I expected. Usually that feel of in the fog makes it feel like you're underwater. It's a really strange feeling. Again, I'm not a landscape photographer. I'm trying to get up there, and I usually try to take pictures of what people do with landscape, or how people interact with landscape, or what man does to their environment. And you could say that this is, to some extent, man-made, but I'm not going to get into this. So again, I went up there. So this is really, I want to talk about in many ways. I'm going to show you some of the photos that I took up there. Again, this is some of the same views that I showed before, where everything was just brown but now it's green. So let me go to this one first, because this is one of the first ones that I came across. And this is, it's that path. The leaves are totally scarred, so they're actually that red from the fire, and then that really intense green. These files are not very much editing done to them. And so this was pretty much one of the first things that I saw. And here we go. This is a typical example of almost what I'm not looking for. So in this case, I go up there and I'm trying to look for textures. I'm trying to look for something that catches my eye. This looks great. And usually when I see landscapes, or when I see a sunset, or when I see, that moonrise, I don't usually, it doesn't make me want to take a picture in it necessarily. I'm much more interested in just taking in that moment, than taking a picture and putting it up on the wall. There's some unbelievably amazing landscape photographers who chase that perfect moment, and they do it so much better than I ever could. So I don't really, again, I'm not really trying to capture those landscapes and show that. I'm much more interested in showing something a little different, a glimpse that you wouldn't necessarily notice, or something like that. So, but then going into a landscape like that and trying to find that there is almost difficult, because things are very dramatic, and so I'm almost trying to photograph non-dramatic images of that. So a lot of the images that I'm going through here now, and again, I go up there and I shoot a lot, and I just, I shoot more, and I try to make sense of it after, almost. So a lot of these images are, I'm almost, I don't want to say I'm disappointed, because I got a couple of shots out of this, but it's just not, in many ways, I didn't get the shots that I kind of wanted to get. This is one of the ones that I actually am kind of happy with. I'm still struggling with the sky behind it and the like horizon lines behind it. It doesn't, I don't know, I'm not sure about it. I'm not 100% happy. What obviously is amazing about this is how the plants come up from the ground. Just a couple of weeks grow up into these bushes that are completely burned, and the leaves that are burned, and the colors in it. So am I going to print this? I'm not sure. Probably not. So this is as a warning, because these images are not really there. This is a classic example of a completely failed image, in my opinion. It doesn't do anything for me. You could argue, yes, there's a foreground, there's a background, there's a thing. I was just intrigued about the textures and the colors in it. And again, I'm up there, I'm taking a picture, bringing it home, seeing if it makes sense. No, it doesn't to me at all. So am I going to learn from this? I don't know, because I'm probably going to do the same thing again when I go back. I really was hoping to get some of these trees with the burnt bark, but I don't think I really was able to do it. See, there's some truly pointless photos there. So I'm just going to scroll through these. That moody darkness is obviously something that is really interesting about that. This is getting more into where I thought I was more successful. Again, because this is, because everything's shot with the Fuji GFX 100, so the textures and the colors are just amazing. So printing this stuff big really, it really works and it pops. Not 100% sure about this one. This is one of the files that I really liked from that shoot. There's something about the composition. Again, there's that dead branch, that burnt branch, the greens, and then that the dew on the leaves there, that spider web. I thought that one worked really well, and I'm definitely going to print that one. But again, this is not necessarily, this is not landscape photography. But I guess going up there, I knew that I would find something like that. I was hoping to get something that captures the area and the surroundings more, but I'm not sure I was able to really do that. This is another one of these, and this doesn't look like much, but the textures in these are all tiny plants with this grain of the sand, so the textures and the details in this is incredible, and the colors are really interesting too. I thought has a really good light on it as well. I'm probably going to work with this one and see how that works. This is I've said this before. This is my neighborhood. I know a lot of people who lost a lot of stuff, belongings, houses in this fire. So I always feel a little guilty taking pictures of it. Obviously, if I step away from that, this is so much about textures and burnt materials, and so it's fascinating to a certain degree, but I feel a little guilty photographing that kind of destruction. So this is very much what I was looking for, and I think this is really successful. the colors and the texture in this, with the green coming through a little bit through that red, and that light is just that's just incredible. I love this. It's gonna print really well too. I got a little tighter in too. I'm not sure which one. Let me go big here again. I think that this is going to work a little better because I do like the green in the middle coming through. I'm probably going to crop the sky out in the top a little, so crop this a little bit. But I do like the green coming through on this, which, yeah, this is just the red. So again, if you can tell, this is much more about the textures and the chaos that I'm looking for, that I found up there. And this is just great with the burnt, with the ashes and the burnt areas with the green. And usually I don't really do that much with color or pops of color, but that green in a way almost forced me to do that. So you guys saw this scene in the video before. This is just this plateau with, again, people lost their belongings here. It's an oak that burnt. This one, I might print this one, just because I have a lot of photos that that are very much like that over the years. That tree brush with the, I think it's a shrub oak, with that basketball hoop there. Yeah, there's something about that I really like. Again, it has that underwater feel. I'm probably going to work with this one. This might be one of the ones that actually did work the best. There's this green, there's these rocks, and then there's just this wasteland that just keeps going on and disappearing. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, this feels like an underwater photo, which is great. And a lot of these just, again, don't work at all to me. This is actually really steep, so it was I was trying to get the angles, and the background kept laying over. So I'm shooting horizontal, I'm shooting vertical. I'm a little disappointed with this one because there's these plants that just pop up from this. I don't even know what they are, but they're everywhere, and they grow in this star formation almost out of the center. And this is pretty big. This is maybe 5-6 feet across, and they just came up within a couple of weeks, and they just grow like that. I needed to come up higher. I couldn't. I was holding the camera pretty high as well already on this, but I tried to capture that. So I decided to get a little burnt stuff in the background there. It doesn't work for me. I'm a little disappointed with that I couldn't get something better with that. Here we go. That is a absolutely terrible photograph. And again, sometimes I come back and I'm wondering, like, what did I see in this? And I know what I was looking for. Again, with the rocks and the burnt areas between the rocks, but it just doesn't work at all. But I would rather take the picture than not. Same thing here. Again, this is very similar to the first one, like that, almost like aquarium type thing where I'm looking through this stuff, and it kind of goes on, but wasn't very successful. This is just a lone tree with the, I was kind of that hole in the tree was a little interesting. This is a burnt out tree trunk, I believe. Again, this is all about textures and that circular formation. I'm not sure. It's not enough, and it's too obvious almost. A little better with the colors, but it's almost a little pretty, and again, a little too obvious. Again, trying to get that angle on that hillside was really difficult. Yeah, composition just not working. There's that trying to get that, and I already kind of went through these photos a little bit and threw some out earlier. Sometimes I keep something like this, and I look at it, and I'm like, okay, what was I thinking here? And I don't throw it out because I'm like, okay, there had to be something that I saw in this that made me take it. And I'm looking at it again, and I still don't really see it. So maybe I'll keep it. Maybe I'll find it. And maybe sometimes, just even playing with the contrast a little bit, because things pop into just pop into place when you play with it a little bit. I'm not sure it's going to happen with this one, but we'll see. So I remember this boulder because I saw it, and this boulder with these broken and burnt branches on it, and it was pretty big. And I really tried to get this thing. And I walked around it, shot around it, up, down. I kept a couple of photos just to show you guys the process, because this might be the most successful one. I really like the texture on this rock and the branches around it, but the background is just not working for me at all. And I'm not really sure what I could have done differently. Higher up, I don't know, it wouldn't have worked because the branches would have overlapped with the rock too much, I believe. So again, sometimes you see it in real life and it's like, okay, there's something there, and you keep trying, and it's just not working. Same with this thing that kind of looked like a harpoon to me. And it just, I don't know, just I think it's the horizon with the background. Again, I'm not a landscape photographer. This is very similar to the other one that I thought worked really well. There's something lacking here a little bit. It's not enough. I don't know if it's too much or if it's not enough. This one may be a little more than that. Again, just different angles. Yeah, another one. I know what I was thinking of. I know I was trying to get this burnt tree in the foreground with the background, but it's just not happening. This one, I remember because it really felt like this. I don't know if you guys have ever taken underwater shots, but you just look into the ocean or something underwater and you just see it, and the landscape just disappears, and that's where the mist is so amazing. And these like otherworldly plants, which these brushes are these bushes are, but that boulder there in the middle just is too much. I think I should have gone over and just shot this without the boulder, and it would be a clearer visual, just the simplicity of that, because the boulder messes up the photo in my opinion. So again, looking at that, you learn from it. Chaos color rocks. I hate the horizon line. Don't like it at all. Same thing here. The texture of that rock makes it really interesting with the texture of the plants in the foreground. But again, I don't like the horizon line, how the image is cut in half. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Again, this is you know, vertical, horizontal, trying to get it. Too simple, too obvious. And this is the, again, one of the shots, very similar shot that I did when I did the, in the TT Artisan review. Obviously that day was sunny. I think it went up there in the morning, so it was the light coming in. Completely different, no green. Not sure the other one worked because the light was truly horrific. I don't think it works with the fog either. That's the same thing again. This one a little better because it's kind of disorienting. This is actually shot across, so this is actually pretty far distance. And you can see that the detail is great. I might, this is something that I might print. I like that, maybe even right next to one of the other files that is the close-up, because at the end of the day they almost look similar. You don't really know what distance this is. This is quite across the valley, so yeah, I'm not sure. There's something about the horizon that in all of these that I'm not 100% happy with. So I just wanted to show you guys these because I always feel like you know, you go to a location, and this is a very spectacular location, obviously, because it's a burnt area. It's foggy. It's you know, it's other out of worldly. But maybe that's exactly why I'm not really all too excited about it. Maybe it's too spectacular. This might actually be a nice shot. This might be something that might work because the light, the color on this. See, coming back to it later, you find different things. And again, no horizon there that distracts me from it. I'm going to do a video with some of these printed, and then we'll revisit that, see which ones work. But the key thing is, you know, to keep shooting and looking at those photos. And again, usually when I go out for photo walks, I try to go to areas and find areas that are actually completely unspectacular, to find the mundane or in everyday life. So this is the opposite, because it's obviously a truly spectacular location. And in many ways, I completely failed photographing the completely spectacular location. And that's okay. I don't, again, this is not something that I set out to do, but it would be still, sometimes you gotta, you know, go out of your comfort zone a little bit and find things that to explore other things. So anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you with the prints.